Okay, okay. All right. I guess I'm live streaming now. What is up, YouTube? Um, yeah, I just want to say thanks for checking this stuff out. I have a blast doing this. I love talking to people, hearing what they think. And it's kind of weird when like a lot of the Raiders YouTubers, and myself included, sometimes we create news where there's not news, like you talk about things that you've kind of talked about before, and you know just because we're motivated, we want to talk, about the Raiders, right? And like today we actually have something to talk about. And what's up, Icy Nate? How you doing? Love your shit. Check out his shit. He has great videos too. But we got something to talk about today, right? Mo Hurst Arden Key released. And not gonna lie, man, I think I kind of saw this coming. If you check out my DL breakdown videos, defensive line, I always say DL. That makes it sound like on the DL, something kind of creepy or even semi-sexual. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I predicted this. But I think a lot of people predicted this, but they weren't going to be vocal about it because you can't you don't want to say mean things to players. You want all these players to succeed. You don't want to say anything negative. I mean, imagine if you're saying something negative about someone and they ball out, right? There's always that possibility. But with Arden Key and Mo Hurst, they were always kind of like they're on the last year of their contract. They're a 2018 Reggie McKenzie signing, and it's only 1 year left. Mo Hurst has almost no dead cap hit, and same thing with Arden Key. And when you look at Arden Key's actual cap number, it's roughly $2 million. You could pick up somebody with that money. If you cut that there, you could, sign somebody like John Brown. He was only $3 million. So it kind of makes a lot of sense. It is unfortunate though, because these are people that you root for. What I liked about Mo Hurst is that he was an Uber driver when he was still at Michigan. I mean, that's kind of cool, right? And it makes it seem more like a working class guy. And even when you look at Buckner, the former defensive line coach, he's now part of the Cardinals defensive line staff. And I know that guy was popular on Hard Knocks. He's a really funny guy. But he was interviewed recently, I believe it was last year, while he was a part of the Cardinals. And he was still high on Maurice Hurst. And he didn't have really a reason to talk him up, because oftentimes coaches and players, when you interview them, they don't really say too much. They're going to say things that are safe. They're going to be very positive and high on a lot of people. And yeah, that's like, that's what he was still doing, even though he wasn't part of the staff. So you got to think, man, this guy might be pretty good. Maybe Mo Hurst is going to have a comeback, pass rush, defensive line, 4 sacks his first year, same as Khalil Mack when you think about it. So maybe he's going to ball out or whatnot, but wasn't the case. And for whatever reason, like, we should have known this, right? Okay, how many of you are shocked by this? Anybody shocked? Say something in the chat if you're shocked. I saw it coming too, not only because the cap, but when Malik Collins is getting snaps in front of you, in 2020, that's how it might be time, and I don't know why they did that. I don't know if that's the coaching staff's fault. That's just what they think. They think Malik Collins is going to give them a better shot than Maurice Hurst, which is kind of unfortunate, How's it going? I'm in California right now. Sunny day. Just had a few beers at the park. Feeling good. Let me know if you're feeling good. Arden Key, too. He was originally supposed to just be a rotational pass rusher. And here he was in 2018, like starting. So I feel like he was thrown into the fire. And one indication that they were going to move on from Arden Key, even in 2020, is the freaking the Carl Nassib signing. And yes, okay, Chris Briggs, he's over here. He thinks we saw Key coming. He's probably right. A lot of people saw it coming. But one thing that Key did, he talked a little too much shit. And at a certain point, last offseason, when there was rumors that the Raiders might sign Jadeveon Clowney or go after someone like Unique Ngakoue in a trade, you heard him say in an interview, "Oh, we don't need any of that shit. We don't need any of that Clowney shit." And it made me kind of think, like, all right, this guy is really confident in himself. Maybe he's going to come up in this depth chart, be a real force for the Raiders. Obviously, it's not the case anymore. But, man, I feel bad. I wonder where they're going to go. So the thing that I'm worried about the most, how pissed would you be if either one of these players go to the Patriots and have a good time? Isn't that the worst? Whenever somebody is cut by the Raiders and then you see them picked up on another team and do relatively well, you're like, damn. I've seen it with Justin Ellis. I've seen it with Mario Edwards. Even Jihad Ward gets in the rotation on the Ravens. And you just think, what were we doing wrong? You know, what were we doing wrong this time? Let me check some stuff out. Try to share some information. I am not going to share this right now. Let's try to look at some PFF stuff. Whoa. As you know, I do have some technical difficulties right now. Let's fix this because I was doing some film recording earlier. I got to change some of the stuff when we're messing with that. Chat's feeling nice. Mo seemed like he had some flashes. It was never clear to me why he was getting so few snaps. A lot of people feel that way. A lot of people are thinking, you know, what do they have against Mo Hurst? I mean, it seems like he was rated as possibly a first-round pick, drops because of the heart condition. And, you know, I hate Reddit. Anybody hate Reddit, NFL Reddit? I hate that website. They always overreact on everything. And one thing that they were doing around this time when the Raiders drafted Mo Hurst, they were like saying such negative things like, oh, you know, this is going to be one of the few times where somebody dies on the football field because the Raiders don't care about health and blah, blah, blah. And it's quite ridiculous, too, because he's played several years and been perfectly fine with his heart. So, you know, people just want to be negative. And it really sucks at the end of the day. Now, let me just take a few looks at a few things. Let's get a little setup here. All right. So one thing that I would like to look at right now is just what did Mo Hurst do last year? What did he do that was so wrong? Gruden and Mayock, what did he do? Pass rush. Okay, we could look at this. You could say, oh, 68 is not that high. Buffalo actually had an amazing game off 35 snaps. But these are really low snap counts when you think about it. The average snap count of a player on the Raiders for the defensive line is usually roughly, I would say 50 for like an actual starter. And I know, okay, a lot of people hate on me for using PFF in my videos, but it is something. It at least gives you some indication, okay? Because if you're going to disagree with PFF on some of their rankings, which I do, and you're a Raiders fan, and I know how we feel that it's often biased against us, but when you think about it, they rate Derek Carr as the 9th best QB in the NFL. So I'm going to agree with their PFF grade there. So I can't agree with the PFF grade when it comes to rating Carr high, when it comes to rating Waller really high, and then like disagree with it in certain areas. And even Cleveland Ferrell, when you look at PFF grade, he's like the 13th best in a lot of places. So let's check out, just compared to the rest of the defensive line. Wow, they must have some good staff over there at PFF. I think they already took Maurice Hurst off of the actual depth chart. But when we look at these pass rush grades, you know, 74, Unique Ngakoue, 70, Farrell last year. We know Crosby was hurt most of the year, so he has 58.2. Are we having trouble seeing what I'm... Okay, let me fix that real quick. You can use it more than one grade. Okay, yeah, Icy Nate, PFF. You can use it if you use more than one grade, not just the total grade, right? Yeah. So that's one thing too, because you'll have like a wide receiver rated super high on PFF, but you know, the run blocking is really high. You know, that's not really, you know, like we don't bring in Ruggs so he could run block, you know? So things get a little twisted, a little tricky there. Let me move myself in a specific area. I'll just cover up Mo Hurst over here a little bit. All right, so so 73 Dickerson, that's not going to count. That's very little snaps. But okay, we just looked at it. 74 was really high, and 70 for pass rush. And look at Mo Hurst. He's hovering in these same areas for the whole entire year. He has, you know, 78.5 is as great as pass rushing. Tackling, 69. People like Unique Ngakoue, Solomon Thomas obviously comes nowhere close to that. And obviously Hankins is not going to be there on pass rushing downs. And David Irving, he had limited snaps, less snaps than Maurice Hurst, yet has a weaker grade than him. And he's expected to maybe play instead of Hurst. So I mean, I think there has to be more to the story as to why Mo Hurst was cut other than just play, because we just hear we see him on the field his rookie year doing great. Even in 2019, that Bears game was really significant. You know, he had such a great game there, and he just seemed like really motivated to be a part of the team. And at the same time, it's like it seems like he doesn't get rewarded with his play on the field. Malik Collins coming in front of him. David Irving now is going to start in front of him. And now you got someone like Solomon Thomas, who statistically and historically has not performed as well as Mo Hurst. So I think it's kind of unfortunate. I think there must be another reason why. Maybe he is highly touted in the NFL and he might get paid somewhere next year. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys really think it was just talent why Mo Hurst was released? And I find it interesting, you know, and not even talking about Arden Key right now. And I think it's because we know, just from watching the game as fans, we know how much potential there is in Mo Hurst in comparison to someone like Arden Key based on what we've seen. So Icy Nate has a really good question. By the way, check out his YouTube. He has some good stuff too. And he's asking if we think we should get another nose tackle for depth. And I would say no at this point. I think a lot of people would agree. You know, we have Jonathan Hankins as a nose tackle. And then I also believe, what's the other gentleman's name? I'm blanking on his name, but he played with Unique Ngakoue for a long portion of their career. I don't know. I'm totally blanking on the name and it's not written right here. It'll come up in a little bit. But yeah, we don't really need help stopping the run. Even in 2019, if you look at the Raiders defense, they are rated really high in stopping the run. And it was actually somewhat of a Jefferson, exactly, Quentin Jefferson. It was actually somewhat of a, yes, you're 100% right, Icy Nate, that was Quentin Jefferson. But it was something about the Raiders. It's like, oh, they are so great against the run. They can't stop the pass. They don't have any linebackers who can cover. 2020, we go in. We sign the best coverage linebacker in free agency. Even though he, you know, didn't work out for us, he still, statistically, Corey Littleton was a good pickup. And now it's like, okay, pass first. We need to figure out the pass. And so it's just like, I guess we're going to get rid of another coverage or another pass rush defensive lineman in Maurice Hurst. So maybe this indicates something with the draft. I don't know. What do you all think? Do you think, okay, does this mean Christian Barmore, if he falls, is that where they're going? I mean, all these other defensive tackles, they're only on 1-year deals. Actually, when you look at it now, interior defensive line, every single person is on a 1-year deal. Maurice Hurst was still going to be on a 1-year deal because it was expiring this year. So everybody is 1 year. And you have to think, okay, so they're drafting, because do we really think, question out there, Raider Nation, do you think if Solomon Thomas balls out, if Quentin Jefferson balls out this year, they're going to re-sign them? I don't think so. I think this is similar to the Aguilar deal. This is in the defensive side of the wide receiver position, how they're approaching it. I think they won't re-sign these players even if they ball out, because it's going to be too much cap for them, too much of a risk. They're trying to get them now on a prove-it deal, have them ball out for them for 1 year, and then go elsewhere, go in the draft, maybe find someone else to be the next 1 year, one-hit wonder. That's what I think is happening. Let me know what you think. Wi-Fi Willie here. I'll take Barmore at 17. That's what Chris Briggs says. And Richard Kidd really believes they're drafting Barmore. Now, I think, though, okay, so I brought this up in another video, defensive line. I could pull up the image real quick. I would just have to do a little bit of work. And I don't see them drafting that high, because there's guaranteed money with Solomon Thomas. There's guaranteed money with Quentin Jefferson. There's guaranteed money with David Irving. Now, I know it's pennies, it's 1 to 3 million, but like, these people have to play, you know? And I think that was what this, you know, Maurice Hurst signing means, is like, oh, these people are going to play. They are going to play a significant amount of snaps. And And we don't need, there might not be room for Mo Hurst. Now, if there's an injury that happens, they're going to be really pissed off that they didn't sign Mo Hurst, and then they're having to roll out with someone like Kendall Vickers. You know? And I'm not trying to hate on Kendall Vickers, but I mean, when you just do the comparison, I mean, come on. I think Mo Hurst is going to have a better time than him. Let me know what you think. Kendall Vickers versus Mo Hurst. Who'd you rather have? Let's pull up this stuff like I was talking about just recently. Well, this is what we got. So I guess we could cross Mo Hurst off. 79K in dead money. So the Raiders lost 80K. I guess that's unfortunate. So Darius Phylon, I think that's someone who could actually be a lot bigger than we originally intended. Think about it. I think it was 1 or 2 years ago, before he got suspended, so it'd be 2 years ago, he was signed by the Cardinals after having a monster time with the Falcons, and they paid him $5 million a year. And I was saying this in my defensive line positional breakdown. What other defensive lineman that's not Ngakoue, that's not Farrell, are we paying $5 million a year? No one comes close besides Jonathan Hankins, and like Icy Nate was just saying, he's primarily a run stopper. And so Quentin Jefferson, Hankins on the rundowns, Quentin Jefferson on a rundown, maybe gets in the pass rush game, Solomon Thomas, and then Darius Phylon, I think he's gonna get some snaps now. I actually hope that the Raiders don't draft Barmore at 17, because at the end of the day, they need someone to take over LaMarcus Joyner's role, and they don't have anyone to do that at this point. Isaiah Johnson took some snaps, as that inside corner, and even did some snaps at safety. I don't think they're just going to roll with Isaiah Johnson and have Amik Robertson try to back him up again. Mayock has openly admitted in multiple interviews that moving Amik Robertson inside like that was a mistake. He's like, hey, he was an outside corner. He shouldn't be playing slot. And they need someone to fill that $9 million a year LaMarcus Joyner role, and they don't have anyone on the team who could do that right now. Let me know if you disagree. Who do you think could take over LaMarcus Joyner's spot? I got some chats here. Let's pull them up. We're doing this ghetto style. Let's see what we got here. So, Icy Nate, would you rather re-sign Quentin Jefferson or Solomon Thomas if they balled out, or sign Jerron Reed? I thought Jerron Reed actually was picked up by, I hate to say it, the Chiefs. Let me double check on that. See, that's what sucks. We got to do. We're in the same division as the Chiefs. Exactly. Chiefs sign defensive tackle Jerron Reed. So Icy Nate, that's just unfortunate, right? We're gonna have to deal with this for 4 years. We basically have, a more overrated Brady in our division, who is going to be able to get, free agents to sign for cheap. That's unfortunate. So, and that was the only, okay, I'm full on Derek Carr, roll with Derek Carr for 2 years. I think he's going to ball out even harder than he did last year. But the only incentive we ever had to do the Russell Wilson trade or do the Deshaun Watson trade, the only incentive, and it's not for quarterback play, is because maybe you could trick a couple more free agents to sign with us for cheap. Someone like Jerron Reed, who the Chiefs got. You're right. Frozen Raider. Phylon was really good before the whole aggravated assault thing. Yeah, and so was Tom Cable, and look where he is now. Okay. We don't need to joke about that, though. Anyways, and Gus, we trust. That is true. Amik could play slot. Bring in Sherman. Can Arnett play slot? Now, I don't know. Arnett has a lot to prove, and I think he needs to be covering the best players on the opposing side of the field. And we've seen him struggle against Travis Kelce. I don't want to see him cover Travis Kelce again. Now, I will admit, he was ripped off a couple times in the Chiefs game, mainly the Sunday night game. We saw Arnett cover Kelce, and there's just a bullshit pass interference call. I think I even have the fucking tape. I could pull it up right now. And you know me, I have a few beers when I watch the game. I was heated, as a lot of you were. But overall, I got to say, he did struggle. There are times where he does miss some things. And, I can even try to pull up some tape right now if you want. But I think you want to keep him outside. He is a lot faster than we think. I know Damon Arnett does not have the fastest 40-yard time, but there were coaches, I believe it was Gruden, who even said, we know he's faster than a 4.56. Might have been Mayock. Let me just show you guys that. Yeah, Damon Arnett 4.56. So maybe you do move him in the slot, but at the same time, you got a lot of teams bringing in a speedster in the slot. You'll see Tyreek Hill line up in the slot, and he's going up against Lamarcus Joyner. He's going up against Amik Robertson. Oftentimes, when you watch that footage and Amik gets burned when he subs in, it's going up against Tyreek in the slot. That's some tough stuff. Yeah, we could see what happens. Slot is hard to play. I agree, Frozen Raider. One thing about slot is it's hard to play mainly when you're doing man coverage. Like I'm saying, you're gonna line up against someone like Tyreek in the slot. When you're doing zone, I think you have a little more freedom and you have a little more help there, and it's not solely relied on speed. And another thing, I love the fact that Arnett went in for some really big hits. He did some really good tackling. He's a great tackler, but he got hurt like almost every time. He even was comical about his concussions. So do you want someone like that lining up in the slot? I don't know. I think let's keep him safe and keep him outside. If he has more speed than his 4.56 40 time indicates, then I think yes, like keep him outside and let's hope he is the second best, if not the best corner on the team. I hope so. I hope you all hope so. David Irving, I am pumped up about him. I wonder what you guys think. I think he's super motivated. He seems like he didn't have many options though. That's the only thing that worries me about David Irving is how if he is as talented as he used to be, how are we getting away with paying him $1 million with $50K guaranteed? Now, $50K guaranteed is not that much money. There's people at the DMV who make $50K guaranteed if they show up to work, obviously. Maybe some sick hours. And I don't know. What do you guys think about David Irving? I'm a little skeptical. I was high on him. I was pumped up. As a lot of you do, I play Madden. I actually think David Irving's really good in Madden to sub in for a little bit. But, in real life, I had a play. I showed you guys this play in one of my previous videos on the defensive line video, just showing David Irving's pursuit. I believe it's against the Broncos when he subbed in a little bit mid-year. Not the last week of the game, but mid-year. And this guy is just flying to the ball. Granted, he had a lot of rest because he didn't play the whole year, but the dude was quick. So I think he's got great pursuit. He's got a great motor. He's super motivated. It's just, can he put it together for 16 games? Is he going to beat out Solomon Thomas? Is he going to beat out Quentin Jefferson? Apparently, mentally, or I guess based off last year, David Irving has already beat out Mo Hurst. And I liked Mo Hurst. I thought he had a lot of potential. I thought the Raiders should work with him some more. So maybe they're seeing something that we are not seeing. Right, Herman Munster. Irving is very motivated. And, I did not know that ever. Irving has a daughter now, super motivated. Hopefully he gets baptized by Derek Carr and has the full Raiders experience. Shout out if you'd like to be baptized by Derek Carr. Shout out everybody. Say something in the chat if you'd like to be baptized by DC4. Okay, Solomon Thomas, I hope he works out. The dude looks ripped. I was actually really surprised when I saw Solomon Thomas and his measurements. Let me just show some things. I was looking at some film stuff earlier. Please don't copy my video breakdown. Other Raiders YouTubers. I got this 2018 thing I'm working on. Okay, yeah, let's look at this guy's size because I don't know. I mean, I remember being like super surprised. Okay, 280. And what's his height? What's the height? Oh, 6'3" and 280. Okay, 6'3", 280. Aaron Donald Raiders is my previous search history. That's a fucking dream. Okay, 6'1", 280 for Aaron Donald. And I believe Cleveland Farrell, I was thinking about this recently. He's getting into that same size. He's a few inches taller than Aaron Donald, but roughly the same weight. We know he had to gain about 15 pounds. So, he came in a little over 250, and now he's getting up there in Solomon Thomas weight, Aaron Donald weight. These are the people I see in the interior pass rushing downs. David Irving, I'm actually really curious. I don't think I've actually personally looked this up yet. 6'7", 290. Okay, so David Irving has height on Aaron Donald, and he has a little bit of weight on Aaron Donald. So can he put it together mentally? Can he put it together from game preparation standpoint? Can he stay healthy? Can he maintain the stamina? Let's hope so. Oh, let's hope so. Let's hope so. Right. Okay. Irving and Thomas, that could be, that they both have some Aaron Donald measurements in there. Same thing with Cleve Farrell, but Cleve Farrell seems a little lighter. And I know he's weighing in at 277, but I wonder how much he's actually maintaining that if he had to go so far out of his way to get that type of weight. Who knows? Who knows? Let me just check out some things. Anybody? All right, let's see some things in the chat. Let's go look at some things. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Irving is very motivated. Irving's going to ball out. DC4, baptize me, bro. Yes. Herman Munster. I want to have that. Okay, so who are the players that Derek Carr has baptized? I know this is a little off topic, but I wonder if you could look up like every player. I mean, I'll do a video on this. Every player Derek Carr has baptized. I really think, I mean, even if you're not a religious person, I mean, that's a really big moment for people. And that must, help people gain morale, stay motivated in the team. Oh yeah, I know for a fact Cordell Patterson was baptized by Derek Carr. But yeah, I mean that's something silly and that's fun to look at. Okay. Yeah, and so yeah, the two people who I'm stoked on. The reason why I was stoked we signed Nicholas Morrow, because we all talked about it at the end of the year. He had such a sober, him and Littleton really had such a sober assessment of their defensive play throughout the year, and like, it seemed like they're like super motivated to like do well for the Raiders. Like usually when people have that kind of sober assessment, that reflection, that honesty, they have, they want the team to do well, which is why they're willing to be so open about their own failures. Oftentimes you got players who want to make themselves look good and make the rest of the team look bad, like they weren't the problem. But these people were kind of confessional, and it was pretty nice to see. And along with that, you had Irving do end of the year interview. So Morrow re-signed, 1 year, gonna start, and hopefully Irving maybe starts, and that's why they gave him that interview. They see him as a representative of the team, someone who could speak on people's behalf. Herman Munster, yes, he has baptized like 20 guys and counting. Who is gonna get baptized next on the Derek Carr Baptized Show? Okay, that could happen. And yes, there was a little call out about the scheme. I mean, to be fair, Icy Nate, they did a good job of not calling out Gunther too much. They, and I think that's kind of just a politically correct thing you do, because throughout the season when they did do press conferences, I feel like they did not call out Gunther really. They said like, oh, at the end of the day, we need to execute, we need to do our job, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, but they could, right? They could have. The thing I hate the most, the thing I hate the most about Paul Gunther's scheme is whenever I see the defensive end go into coverage, I like just want to throw up. You know what I mean? It's so horrible. Whenever I see Max Crosby or Arden Key in coverage, I'm just like, wow, Paul Gunther. Since we're checking out all these defensive linemen's weight and height, let's check out Paul Gunther's stats, weight and height. Could he play defensive tackle for the Raiders? Let's see what his measurements are. Could we find out? Oh. Right, they sugarcoated it. Glad to be live. This is actually my first live. I haven't done this before. This is super fun because oftentimes when I put a video out there, I don't get the comments. I see them later, joke around about them and stuff like that. And honestly, feel free to make fun of me. I've had comments. I'm actually going to do a video of my funniest comments. I've had people say like, what are you smoking? Look at this little bitch. I got insults for days. Sorry for cursing if you have kids around, by the way. And I mean, I like it, dude. I think it's so much fun. I'm not like a sensitive guy. I don't care if people make fun of me. I think it's hella funny. If anything, it means like people are more like interested in the video. You got something to say. So if you hate something I'm saying at any point, talk some shit on me, dude. I don't give a shit, man. Yeah, Raider J football. Tanner Muse or Javen White. I mean, there was at the beginning of the year in 2020, Max Crosby is asked by Madden. I think it was like the Madden ratings people, like who's the most impressive player who's like not being talked about, and it was Javen White. And we kind of didn't hear from him after a while. And I think that's maybe because Morrow was doing a little better. They're wanting to get Littleton some reps. And I think Littleton was really messed up due to COVID last year. There's a couple of clips. I gotta clip him out, but if you look, there's some plays where he's wearing a mask while playing. And to me, like, I don't know how you do that. I mean, I try to, I'm not fit, but I try to get into some shape, I do some treadmill, lift some weights at the gym. I can't wear a mask at the gym. I try to, but it's so hard for me. So playing a football game, I don't understand how you do that. Morrow's going to stay for the whole year. No worry about that. Yeah, I will show you some of the footage later on in the season. Corey Littleton's wearing a mask while he's playing the game. Not like on the sideline, like he's on the field with the mask, and sometimes he has it like on his like chin in between plays. It's crazy. So Paul Guenther's measurements, could he play defensive tackle for the Raiders? We're not kidding. I don't think we're going to get his height or anything here. Interesting, his head coaching record. Okay, whatever. We know where he came from. We know Bengals. Height and weight. We got that here. Let's see this bro's measurements, dude. Isaiah Johnson, CB2. If anything, Jason Marshall, I think it would flip the other way around. I think Isaiah Johnson would go into the slot, and Damon Arnett would go outside. Now let me just back up my argument a little bit. For all you people who are too broke to afford PFF, I got you. Wi-Fi Willie got you. You could just check out his shit. Don't let them say that, or else they're gonna freaking sue me and shut this channel down. But hey, here we go. Okay. Littleton was used terribly by Guenther, but okay, which linebacker was used right by Guenther? I guess Morrow in 2019 still struggled a little bit, but showed some promise. Okay, Isaiah Johnson snap counts total. Okay, where are the ones where you could say positional style snap counts? I want to see snaps by position. So check this out, and then maybe we could see Damon. Well, Damon Arnett did not play. I think he didn't even play as much as freaking. He didn't even play as much as Isaiah Johnson. So the point is kind of moot in a lot of ways. And by the way, I don't know how they quantify this. They say that Isaiah Johnson had one snap at defensive line. I don't think so. Maybe they're talking about special teams or something. I don't think that's true. You know what? If I'm on the board, okay. I know I appreciate Raider Nation and all the people doing the draft coverage and mock draft stuff, but I honestly think like it's just, to me it's just all baloney. Like we don't know who they're gonna draft. We have no idea. The only time we were anywhere close to that was, when they took Ruggs, because we knew they're going to take a receiver first overall. We don't know who they're going to draft. We have been surprised every single year. Did anyone think they're going to take Damon Arnett that early? Did anyone think they're going to take Cleveland Farrell that early? Did anyone think they're going to take a running back in the first round in 2019? And how many people had Abram on the radar? And anybody who says that, I mean, I think they're lying. People had no idea. Everybody thought we were taking CeeDee Lamb in the very beginning. Maybe we should have taken CeeDee Lamb. Who knows? But we really just don't know. And we also don't know how these people are going to pan out. I thought Ruggs was like an amazing pick when they got him. He was just a decoy his first year. Now, I know he's on the offensive side of the ball. It's a little hard for those people to shine immediately. But, it's just, I don't care who they draft. And I just want them to play, and I want them to do really well. And honestly, I want them to all do as well as Cleveland Farrell, because I think Cleveland Farrell has done a lot better than a lot of people give him credit for. Outside of Josh Jacobs, he's been our best first-round pick in the past 2 years. 3 years, it's going to be Colton Miller. He's the best first-round pick. But outside of that, it's Cleveland Farrell, and then obviously Jacobs. But in my opinion, Jacobs, I get it, he's great, but running back, it's becoming more of a rotational position, and you can find these people in later rounds, Isaiah Johnson in the slot. spread out throughout the year, he had about 19 snaps in the slot. Wide corner was obviously the majority, but then what's also interesting is 20 at free safety. So this is telling me this is LaMarcus Joyner territory in the slot. So 39 snaps between safety and the slot. Damon Arnett, he didn't play that many games at all, especially compared to Isaiah Johnson. And what are we looking at here? Still 15 in the slot, nothing at safety, 15 in the slot, so only 4 away from Isaiah Johnson, but none at the safety. And when you look at, now I know we all like Damon Arnett as a tackler, and he actually did pretty well as a tackler for having a broken thumb last year. And I know this is supposed to be a defensive line video, but you know what? We're live. We're going off topic. We're going all kinds of different topics. And like, Isaiah Johnson's a great tackler. That's all. I guess that's how I could summarize it. Like I don't understand. To me, this is not math. I have like a math degree. I mean, I'm not saying I'm fucking smart because I have a math degree, right? But like, I don't think this averages out like that. He's got 70 plus in several games, and there's 160 and then 124. I don't know why they gave him a 24 in that game. That is so low for tackling. It's comical. I don't know how they did that. I think he's a really great tackler. I think some of these other grades do indicate that. I think they're smoking something. They're smoking something for getting that kind of confused. Now, Damon Arnett, on the other hand, let's just pull this over here to give us a quicker view. Oh yeah, he's got a really bad grade tackling, and unlike Isaiah Johnson, he has multiple games in the 20s. New England was a really rough game for him. I remember that. And even against Denver, when you're struggling tackling against Denver and Drew Lock, it's a problem. It's a big problem. When anybody struggles against Drew Lock, big problem. Let's get back to defense though. Shout out anybody. Who do you guys think? Who should we target? Maybe in the draft this year or in free agency for defensive line. I think we're set. I think we're set to go. I think all these people need to play. Shout out. Do you want these people to play, or do you want them to bring somebody else on? Let me know what you think. What do you guys think, Raider Nation? All right, so seeing some information here in the chat. Let's go. I want to respond to these chats. You could do a logical draft for the Raiders, but they might not match up. Yeah. So, yeah, Gruden and Mayock aren't always going to agree with the computers. That is true. People wanted A.J. Brown. We got Ruggs instead. But I think for our style, we need to compete with the Chiefs. That Chiefs game, man, that game was like so great for us because we saw what it could be. We saw what the plan was. We saw what the plan was with these speedy receivers, how we were going to mimic the Chiefs in a lot of ways, and how we were going to do it successfully and outscore them because we have a better run game than them. Man, that game was beautiful, and I think the short receiver, speedy types, 5'10", 180 pounds, who could fly. I think Gruden is adapting to that, and that's what he's going to use. He's straying away from the big body Tyrell Williams types that he experimented in his first few years. Granted, who are the first 2 receivers that Gruden picked up since he took over? Jordy Nelson and Martavius Bryant. Those guys are not speedsters. They are taller, big body receivers. Jordy Nelson's a little nifty though, but he was older, it's his last year in the NFL. And so I think they totally switched their styles over time. They started looking at the AB and Tyrell Williams thing. Maybe we can have big body guy meshed with quick speedy type. Now they're just switching it and they're just saying, hey, we're influenced by the Kansas City Chiefs and we're just going to embrace it. Hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button. I only got 13 likes. Help me out. If you're watching this, help me out, Del Rio prospect. I don't know what you mean by that. I think Jack Del Rio. A lot of people are saying, hey, the Redskins game, did Derek Carr lose the team? Because of the politics and the kneeling and all this stuff. I think Jack Del Rio did it. I mean, if you checked his Twitter account, he's really into right-wing political news, and that's fine, but you don't want to bring politics into the workplace wherever you are. Got to keep it professional. I don't think he did that. D-line in the late round, I think so. I think we're going to need some depth in case either one of these guys get injured, because at this point, if Solomon Thomas gets injured, Well, for pass rushing downs, we're going to have David Irving and Farrell. If they get tired or banged up during a game, well, we're going to have one of them and Phylon. And what if one of them gets banged up? So there's going to be some depth. There's going to be a training camp battle. But training camp's not going to be as robust this year because it's COVID, you know? There's not really much of a position battle. And you already see this, man. They're signing veterans. Who knows? They might even trade up just so they have less rookies that they have to bring in. And fortunately, they did that last year. They only had like 5 picks in the draft, which is kind of good because if they had more, I think it'd just be more people who end up getting cut. Kind of a waste of pick, waste of dead money. Yeah, Gruden, hopefully he takes some more deep ball shots. Raider J football. Jordy used to be a speedster, Chris Briggs. And what I like about Jordy, man, he has really good sideline work. And that's one thing that Ruggs, I think, should work on. Based on just what I saw just from the first few games, I was rewatching some tape today. And I think that just comes with adjusting to the NFL when you're in college. You know, 1 foot in bounds versus 2. A couple of times he could have dragged his foot and made some plays. But, I mean, I got a lot of faith in Ruggs. I think he's going to go off this year. And we don't need more defensive end help. I see Nate. Let me just show you the Arden Key thing. We knew it was going to happen after the Unique Ngakoue signing, and it's pretty funny because it's like writing on the walls. As I was saying earlier, when it was flirted around that maybe the Raiders would pick up, Clowney, and he says we don't need that shit. We don't need that shit. We have everything we need right here. Well, it turns out we don't, Arden Key, and he was a clear candidate to get cut. Look at the defensive end position. $2 million cap, almost no dead money. You're going to save 1.5 if you cut him. That's just how it's going to go. We have help. We know Unique Ngakoue is not going to really play on rundowns. That's not his thing. I have a clip that I posted. You could check it out on my channel where Mayock is talking about Unique Ngakoue when he's coming out of the draft, getting drafted in the 3rd round by the Jaguars. And he says that same thing. Hey, this guy is just a pass rusher. He's not going to be able to stop the run. And the PFF grade backs that up. I could show you that in a second if you'd like. He's got a low PFF grade against the run, way lower than Farrell's. That's not his thing. That's not his cup of tea. It's not what he's going to do. And so the thing with Arden Key is like we already paid Carl Nassib, and that's why the writing was on the wall. There's not enough room for this guy. Farrell, even if one of these people, Unique or Farrell, gets injured, theoretically speaking, only one is going to get injured, knock on wood. Or banged up, banged up just out of game, and a game is big. One game is huge, right? Playoffs, we know what it's like. I don't think you need Key because then you could just sub Crosby in there. Or vice versa. If Farrell gets hurt, sub Crosby. If Unique gets hurt, sub Farrell and Crosby, right? We don't really need that person. And here's the thing. Carl Nassib, he was very underwhelming, partially hurt, had a better grade overall than Crosby throughout the year. Obviously, he did less snaps, and Crosby was hurt a majority of the year. But he's got to play. We've paid this guy too much money. And these numbers here aren't even telling you what he's set to make next year because we had to restructure the contract where next year, Carl Nassib's dead money is about like $3 million, but his cap hit is $12 million. We cannot be paying Carl Nassib as much as Unique Ngakoue in 2022. This guy's going to be cut next year. But as you can see, $9 million in dead money, that's a significant amount of dead money for this team. 3rd most of any defensive lineman on the team currently. And so this guy's got to play. He's got to give us some production or else this would be, when I do a free agent grade breakdown, F minus. I mean, come on. And then and the cherry on top of it, which kind of gets people upset about the Raiders because the Mayock hiring seemed like a nepotism hire and everything, is that Nassib is friends with Mike Mayock. So it's like, did you just pay out your friend in a non-contending year? Let's hope not. Okay, let's check this out on the chat. I want to see what you guys are saying. We should get another defensive end to develop. I was thinking about it. Quentin Bell. I mean, he was the draft pick who stomped the truck, right, in 2019. They didn't even have footage of him in the 7th round, athletic freak, and was released, didn't pan out. But someone like Quentin Bell, someone who's a physical freak in the later round so they could develop maybe Gus Bradley and maybe Marinelli. We didn't have Marinelli in 2019, so maybe he can develop somebody like that. Obviously, Marinelli, though, has had some bad judgment calls. I mean, Malik Collins was a horrible judgment call. But what's really weird is Malik Collins is kind of respected amongst the NFL. I find it really crazy that he is going to make more money than David Irving this upcoming year. Like the Texans are giving him a contract. I don't see it. I mean, I have some videos back when I first started my YouTube. I even put up like a little quick clip of just Malik Collins getting like owned by like even just one-on-one, and it's just no contest. It's really weird. And yeah, he is more of a traditional defensive tackle. He's not necessarily just going to be solely for the pass rush like Irving, because Irving moves around. He could play end. And yes, you're right, IC Nate. Vickers does play both. But when you look at the depth chart online, he is listed as a defensive end. So I just did it. Obviously, the main reason why I put Vickers to a defensive end is I just didn't have any room on the slide. So I had to put it there. All right, let's check out what people are saying. Farrell rookie contract up. Yeah, and when you look at Farrell too, I could pull it up in a second. He's actually making a lot of money. Now, let me just say Roto salary. Let me just pull this up because this is actually really interesting to look at when you look at who is making the money on the Raiders. And I go over this in a lot of my videos because I like salary cap stuff. I think it's really interesting to look at, see who's getting what. I would rather go to over the cap. But he's one of the highest paid players on our team. He has to pan out. But fortunately, he has the highest PFF grade of all of our defensive linemen. So he seems like he's on the right track. I know we hate PFF, like we were saying, but hey, if they're going to give people props that I like Farrell, I'm going to be all about it, dude. Carl Joseph, 1.1 million. So Carl Joseph, this is just an interesting tidbit. Let me close this shit. I got these monitors all screwed up. Carl Joseph, 1.1 million this year, which is really interesting because last year he made almost $3 million for the Browns. COVID year, going down in numbers. That's quite unfortunate. Let me just check out some of your guys' comments first because I want to make sure I react, talk to you guys. I don't want to just ignore people. And yeah, you're right, Jason Marshall. So we got to go in with Farrell and Unique Ngakoue if we're paying these two people so much money, And it's really funny because when you think about it, Crosby might get some snaps over Farrell. I think Farrell's going to move inside on pass rushing downs, but this is a passing league now, so why do we sign these defensive tackles? Are we really just going to go Solomon Thomas, Farrell, and then Crosby and Unique on the outside? Is that how we're going to go the rest of the year? I don't know. Is that the way to go? I don't know. People have some draft picks. Like I was saying about the draft, it's 2 weeks away. We can look at mock drafts all day. We could think about, we're going to get this could happen, blah, blah, blah. We don't know. We don't know. And if you look at these previous years, you can't sit here and tell me who the Raiders are going to pick. There's a little bit of an indication in 2018 because Donald Penn was getting old and we knew we needed a tackle. We thought Mike McGlinchey, but we didn't think that if Mike McGlinchey wasn't there that we're going to just grab Cleveland Farrell in the first round like that. We didn't think that right away. So we could speculate all you want. It is fun to think about, but ultimately, I think it's fun to just reflect on who we have. And when you look at who we have, then negatively, you can see who we will draft, right? And that's why I think it's secondary. I don't think it's safety. Prior to the Carl Joseph signing, I did think it was going to be safety in the first round. Now it's going to be a corner. It's going to be someone who could replace LaMarcus Joyner. Maybe a little versatile who could play outside if we need them. But I think that's the biggest need on the team. You could say tackle. You could say tackle at the same time. I think if there's no one there that talented in the first round for corner, yes, we go tackle. But Brandon Parker's improved. He's had 3 years under Cable. He was always touted as an athletic guy who just needed some coaching and grooming. And watch some of the film. I was watching some film just the other day. He can handle one-on-one against really good pass rushers sometimes. I know there's times he drops the ball, but we don't really highlight the times when he doesn't. And there's numerous plays where this guy, like, he can hold his own, especially in the run game. Bradley Chubb, watch. I don't want to, you know what? I'm doing my own film breakdown, so I'm not going to give other people tips on what to break down. I'm going to do that one myself. You'll see. I'll show you some Brandon Parker love soon. Okay. Okay. I'm not going to start calling out certain games where he's, you know, that I've already analyzed and stuff. Okay. So let's look at some comments. Rotational D-line, Crosby only on passing downs. Maybe that would keep him healthy and then he wouldn't have such a low PFF grade. Because that dude had like a torn labrum. He had some just jacked up injury where he shouldn't be playing. And he still had to play because we had nobody else. Farrell is like Michael Bennett and Bradley Scheme, moves inside on pass downs most likely. I could see that. Michael Bennett's definitely slower and a little bigger. Farrell is definitely more athletic, even in Michael Bennett's prime, in my opinion. Quentin Williams would have been a great pick, but the Jets got them before. And I think you're right. I think they would have gotten Quentin Williams. So here's my thing. And I actually called Vincent Bosignor. I don't know how to say his name. Whatever. Vinny, you guys know him if you're a Raiders fan. I called his radio show when we were talking about the defensive line. This is last year. And about moving Farrell inside. And to me, I was like, okay, you move Farrell inside, and that's how he's going to play most of the time because it's a passing league, and he's going to play that on passing downs. Then why did you take him number 4? Why didn't you take Ed Oliver? You know, there's tons of interior people you could have taken at that position, and if you're going to just move him inside anyways on pass rushing downs, then why didn't you do like a pass rushing DT? Granted, we're kind of lucky because Ed Oliver has seemed like he's had some trouble, behavioral trouble, and, you know, probably isn't going to, when it all comes down to it, not play as much and be as productive as Farrell. So maybe we did dodge a bullet. But I think getting Farrell, making him put on more weight like that, I just think it's a risky move. And I hope they don't take these kind of chances in this upcoming draft. Keep Crosby in the sub package. I believe it. Malik Collins, terrible. Yes. Abram, man. Farrell, big year for them. 2 years left. After this year, it's 1 year. Little dead money. They can let him go. This is a big year for those guys. They have to come through. I think Farrell is he's going to get re-signed, but I don't think if he wants really high dollar, like top dollars defensive end, I don't think he's going to get it. And hopefully, since he was taken 4th overall, he takes a little team-friendly deal because we overpaid Farrell. We overpaid Farrell for 4 years. So hopefully he takes a team-friendly deal because he's already been compensated so much. But who knows? I mean, Montez Sweat, you know, in the 20s, you could have got someone like him. There's just, I mean, we can go down the list. We could do it if we wanted to. That's another video. What were we going to talk about, though? The most dead money. Most dead money on the team. Is this organized in this way? It looks like it. Can we sort this? I mean, okay, I'm a web developer. If you need help, if you work for Over the Cap and need help, call me. I mean, I'm a freelance. I'm not always fully hired as a web developer. I'm a struggling one. I'm kind of a ghetto web developer. All right. So Derek Carr, dead money. Colton Miller, 2nd most. Corey Littleton, 3rd most. And then you got Farrell, 4th most. Unique Ngakoue, 5th most. Actually, it's sad to say, Carl Nassib. This 10 million is not entirely accurate with Carl Nassib, though. It's closer to 9, but unfortunately, he is the 5th most dead money. And then when you get into it, you have Ruggs and Damon Arnett coming in next, if I'm not mistaken. Where's Ruggs dead money? I know a lot of you are watching mobile, so you can't see this that clearly, so my bad for that. But yeah, Ruggs at 9 million. Where's Arnett at? Where's Arnett? Abram, 7 million, right? So top 10 players, the people who have to be top 10. Which of these people do you think are actually top 10 on the team? So I would say Unique Ngakoue right away. Yes, top 10. Derek Carr, top 10 on the team. Colton Miller, top 10 on the team. That's 3 who are paid this much. Corey Littleton, would you say he's like one of the top 10 players on the team? Is he the best linebacker on the team right now based off last year? Morrow might have something to say about that. Maybe Kwiatkowski would have something to say about that. I don't know. So that's a little Hopefully he plays like 9 million dead money, right? Hopefully he does that. And I know players get pissed when you talk about the money, but hey, we live in a society where money indicates where value is, where people place their hopes, you know? Successful teams, their tickets cost more money. Bad teams, it costs less money. Good players get paid more than bad players. That's just how it goes, you know? So this is just the logical way to look at it. You gotta follow the money. Carlin C, man, this is just such a big woof. Henry Ruggs, he's got to be the best receiver on the team. If he gets beat out by John Brown or Willie Snead, that will be very unfortunate. I don't think it's going to happen. If it does happen, very unfortunate. Now, I have been going live for an hour so far. We're running up on an hour. Let me just do a check-in with the chat, see how you guys are doing. Let's get some more likes going, though, man. Like Icy Nate was saying, where are those likes at? 25 watching, 19 likes. That's actually not too bad. That's pretty cool. For my first live, clap it up. Thank you for coming to my first live. Thank you for coming to my first live, Hopefully we'll do more of these. I don't think I'll do a live on the draft. There's a lot of Raiders YouTubers who are probably going to go live on the draft, and it'll be really cool. Check them out. Yeah. Littleton, hopefully he's the best. Kwiatkowski, by far the best linebacker. He did the OBJ interception, but he did it against Drew Lock. See, here's the thing. If you look at grades and stats, like, Jeff Heath is the best safety on our team. Straight up. Like, he's had games where he went 90 grade, higher. So, like, it's a little tricky there. Is Jeff Heath the best safety on our team? Would he start over Joseph and Abram? I mean, he got 2 picks last year. He did well when he came in. He had to beat out Eric Harris for some reason. I mean, I think it was just getting used to the scheme and, the Gunther madness. But this guy really shined against Denver and Kansas City. But a little less snaps than most people, so his grade's going to be higher. Same thing with Kwiatkowski. But we right away, when we say these players' names, we have like plays that we could think of. Boom. He did well here. He did well here. Abram, I have a couple of tackles that I could think of where he did well. But mostly when I think of Abram, I think of mistakes in coverage, to be honest. Sorry. The best coverage play I saw Abram do last year was a deep ball against Kansas City in the first game over Tyreek Hill. And when he picked off Cam Newton, that was really great because he was watching out for the QB run that had been successful, tricked Cam into thinking that he was going to go after him, went back and got the pick. It was beautiful. It is sad that Jeff Heath is the best safety, or could he ball out? I mean, here's the thing. Jeff Heath, $3 million. We already paid him his dead money, $3 million cap this year. We could release him if we draft a safety. No dead money. I don't know though. I mean, if you're a robot and you're going based off like stats and like what happened last year, you're putting Heath over Abram for sure. And you might even put Heath over Joseph. So, I mean, that's, I hope they get somebody. I really got to wash my hair. I got like this crazy bed head. YouTube's making me freaking self-conscious. Any tips for a new Raider page? I don't know, dude. I honestly, I struggle to get people motivated about this page, but I think the key thing to making a good page, and what I try to do with my Raiders YouTube, is just make stuff that I would want to see. So that's why I did go with this contract stuff, because I was like, what would I want to see? And I did these compilations. You see Gruden on Monday Night Football talking about Derek Carr and Kenyon Drake. Those took a lot of time to make. You had to go and watch this film and look at when Gruden said something cool, said something interesting, and that stuff did take a lot of work, but it was something that I just personally wanted to see. I personally wanted to see every comment that Gruden did make on Kenyon Drake, every comment that he did make on Derek Carr. The Khalil Mack one's going to be released in a few days. It's almost done. And so I think if anybody who's making a page on anything, just make stuff that you'd want to see. And then you'll have fun too. Could we put Abram as a linebacker? When Abram blitzed, there's a couple times, especially when you look at the Chiefs game on Sunday night, he was right there. And Mahomes just makes a lucky move. And their offensive line always gets help, a little help tugging too. So my Gruden video got 46K. Yeah, that one did. And what's weird? The Kenyon Drake one has more views than the Derek Carr one, but I think everybody wants to see the Derek Carr one. I think the Kenyon Drake one was just great timing because, I mean, right when they signed him, I just started watching the tape because I had just been watching like Gruden Monday Night Football stuff just to see stuff he said because, you know, it's entertaining, and it's just good timing. AB is a box safety. AB is a box safety. I mean, honestly, yeah, let's bring AB in at box safety. Let's see what happens if he. Honestly, if AB is down to come back, and I know people are gonna hate this, in 2020, I can't find this Twitter interview anymore. But there was a video where AB was on a radio show, and he had been on the phone with Gruden talking about coming back in 2020, and obviously it didn't work out. But you got to be cold in this business. You can't have emotional ties, even if someone screws you over. You got to be open. You just need people to play, right? You need people to play. Anything you can do to get these people to play, contribute to the team. Who cares? Who cares? Yeah. Oh. Okay, yeah, JA, Jonathan Abram, box safety. Hopefully, but now I feel like we have too many box safeties. Now Heath, he could cover, and you watch him on a few games. I think it was against Gronk, the Buccaneers game with Jeff Heath. He does lay some hits on Gronk and gets really physical with him. And Gronk is kind of nice to him. I don't know. You know, you never know the attitude that people have on the field, but he pats him on the head a couple times after plays. Sometimes I could be patronizing, right? He's trying to like look down on him or something. But he was a little irritated by Heath. You could tell. So Heath can get really physical with people more than you think. And what I thought was interesting is they had him line up and cover Gronk. Like, you know, towards the middle of the year, they're thinking like, okay, maybe instead of having someone like Arnett cover, you know, Kelsey, maybe we have someone like Heath, and that's why we have him covering Gronk, you know, for a couple plays. I think he could be more impressive than people think. I think we have too many box safeties in the kitchen. At the end of the day, we're still going to be rolling with a nickel most of the time. And yes, Bradley does use a box safety, but you know what? At the end of the day, what this team needs are people who could cover receivers on the Chiefs. Are people who could cover the Packers receiving core. 2019, we were smoked, straight up just smoked coverage-wise. Now, I know a lot of these people aren't playing anymore, you know, who are a part of the secondary, but they're straight smoked by the Packers receiving core without Devontae Adams. And in this past season, it just seems like I know there's limited pass rush, but it just seems like the Raiders secondary can't cover anybody. Outside of Mullen, they just can't cover anybody. And then when Mullen makes a mistake, it sticks out like such a sore thumb because it's like, wow, our best guy is making a mistake. Granted, people are too hard on Mullen. PFF is too hard on Mullen because he's covering some of the best players on the opposing side of the field. We don't have a number 2 corner. We don't have a number 1 corner. We have a number 2 corner, potentially a number 1, and we don't have anybody else after that, you know. And we have a safety. We have 2 box safeties with Carl Joseph and Abram, and Jeff Heath, who has shown some flashes, but is primarily, you know, we even thought, hey, is this guy just mainly going to be like special teams or something? We weren't even thinking about him starting when he was signed, even though he's given a little bit of dead money. We do need a true free safety, unless Carl Joseph could really come through. We saw those impressive games in 2019, but you know what? Against Green Bay, which I alluded to in my video breakdown, I didn't go hardcore into it, you know, but I alluded to the Green Bay game. He did horrible that game. So like if he has another one of those games, he is definitely not going to see the field unless someone else screws up worse than him. So. And he's still on a 1-year deal, $1.5 million this year. That tells me that's not that much money. And let me just show what you guys are saying because sometimes people miss some of the stuff we're reacting to in the chat. Let's see what we could say. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, yeah, a lot of people want him. Um, there's all the speculation, and to me, like I said, raise your hand or say in the chat if you predicted that we were gonna draft Damon Arnett last year. Did anybody predict that? No, nobody did. So okay, so basically, anybody. This is my opinion, and I could be wrong, and I will come on this YouTube channel and I'll say I was 100% wrong. I'm full of shit. In my opinion, anybody who like people are talking about that the Raiders are gonna pick a lot, like all the chatter, like that's who they're not gonna pick. Like they always do the opposite of what we're thinking, and I'm not saying this in like a critical way. I think they have just they actually do a really good job internally with their staff. And Mayock, his first draft, he sent all the scouts home really early, and that wasn't a COVID year. They have a good way of hiding what they think and what they're going to do internally. It's brilliant. They are media trained people. Gruden and Mayock are media trained people. They know how to hide what they're thinking. They know how to hide who they have on their board. They're unpredictable, and so I don't think for a second anybody knows who they're drafting number one. Yep, people thought Kenneth Murray. People are going to thumbs down. It's okay. Whoever they get, I just hope they're good. And I don't think we know who they're going to get. No idea we'd go Arnett, Wright, Munster. That's true. They weren't even gambling odds on drafting Arnett. Frozen Raider. Very true. Everett, right? Yeah, the only time we knew was Jamarcus Russell. I'm actually working on some things where I want to do some history, whatever. I'm not going to go into what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do it. Jamarcus Russell, man, he looked great coming out of LSU. I was a huge Notre Dame fan, and I remember the championship game, Brady Quinn versus Jamarcus Russell. I was shocked by Jamarcus. I was like, wow, this guy is just demolishing, my college football team. And then boom, Raiders got him. I was stoked, but look what happened. Okay, I think we should wrap this up though soon. This is going really well. Thank you guys for coming along. Remember, I got 32 viewers. I got 23 likes. If you're watching this, man, give me a like. Help me out. Help out Wi-Fi Willie. Come on now, right? Wait, should I go? What, should I stay or should I go? What do you want? What? All right. So anyways, Kinlaw, Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson, though, he's doing well because they went out with Diggs, but I think that I don't think he would have fit with our type of scheme. I think we're trying to go for the speedy 5'10". It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. Larry, thank you. Gunther's scheme does suck. Now, I wonder how much influence Gunther did have in our draft, and this is true. This is very true. Since 2018, this is going to be our first non-Gunther defensive draft. And I'm curious, is it going to shape out differently? Now, I was looking at the 2018 draft compared to, I was thinking about it compared to 2019, 2020. We can't really grade 2019 until next year because we don't know how well Abrams is going to go. There's tons of people. The question mark's still out, right? Brandon Parker, what if he starts? Then his grade is how he was. Well, he's 2018 actually. But you get my point, right? It's a little too early for 2019. 2018, we could tell a little bit. Brandon Parker's still not sure what 2018, but it wasn't that bad of a draft when you look at it. One thing that I really liked about the draft was the Marcel Aitman pick for 2018. I know he's not going to start for us, but he was a 7th round pick. And this guy played significantly, especially when Martavius Bryant did not work out. Jordy Nelson's getting banged up. And he was a solid run blocker for us for 2018. Really helped out Doug Martin, made him look good. And little picks like that. So these are the picks that we don't notice, where people contribute to the team. Maybe they're not here for a long amount of time, but it's all about, do they make a contribution? Do they play? Are they on the roster for a period of time? They contribute, they play, they have snaps, they do good enough to hold us over to squeeze out victories. That's what's going to matter the most. All right, let's check out and see what you guys are saying. Great live show. Looking forward to more. Very informative. Hang around for another 15 minutes, Larry. Gunther called Farrell Carlos Dunlap. Yeah? I mean, okay, I'm not going to hate on the Farrell pick, though. He is our highest grade defensive lineman. and he's playing inside and on the edge. He is a versatile defensive lineman who's putting in more work from a mental standpoint than most players on our team, and from a physical standpoint, changing his body. Now, I know he's not a sack machine. He's not a sack machine. And you know what? He might never ever be a sack machine and still be a really good player because he's good against the run and he can generate some pressure. Now, I have a clip that I was doing a Farrell breakdown. And before I go, I'll just show you guys this clip really quickly. And let me just pull it up. Let me just pull up this. Let me see what you guys are saying too before I show this clip, because I want to show just how impressive Farrell is. You're not either. Just a funny quote about Icy. Oh, Icy Nate. Yeah. Yeah, that is pretty funny. Anything about Gunther's funny. Oh yeah, here's the thing my girlfriend says. It's actually really hilarious about Paul Gunther. He looks like Governor Chris Christie of New Jersey. If you notice that. If anybody you follow politics a little bit, he looks just like Chris Christie. It's actually hilarious. Actually, you know what? Okay, I gotta do this. Okay, I'm gonna do this right now. I'm sorry. If people want me to hang on a little longer, then I'm gonna just do this, right? Hey, watch out! I'm filming in the back, just so you know. I'm still on live. Just okay. So. Wow. This is just some resilience, I tell you. Right? Right? Come on now. Oh, my video's covering it. Sorry about that. Whoa! Oh, man. These dudes look alike, right? Come on. This is just like, whoa. Wait, did the governor start coaching the Raiders for a little bit? What's going on with this? Oh, shit. Okay. We're having fun. We're having fun. Okay. Right, man. That shit is accurate as hell. Yeah, Gruden wanted the Zimmer style defense. You could actually find a YouTube video where Gruden's breaking it down and showing how impressive Gunther's scheme is, and he really likes it. Yeah. Hopefully Gus Bradley does something. You know, I'm excited. I just want to know who we pick. I want to know why we picked them, because when Ruggs was picked, I feel like we learned like a lot of stuff. We were like, okay, we know like what we're going to do. We're going to like start airing it out now. Like, this is what's going down. So it was just like kind of like informative in a lot of ways. Now this video typically has audio. I did like a little breakdown of it or whatnot. Let me just get myself out of the way. And yeah, this is where I think Farrell is really impressive. Now, check this out. He's lined up on the outside over here, and he doesn't get credit for this sack against the Chiefs, but like he's on Eric Fisher, who's a good tackle, a really good tackle, and he is what causes this sack. Look at him. He bull rushes Eric Fisher, then he gets a hand and grabs Mahomes by his back. And Mahomes can't get away. He has so much strength in his arm. He's holding on to Mahomes. And then I think Chris Smith, one of the, free agents that we signed, cleans up and gets the actual sack. But like, man, Clelin Ferrell, the amount of power, the strength, that 15 pounds that he put on is really giving him some strength. He's able to grab Mahomes. As a Raider fan, we love seeing Mahomes get sacked, right? Come on, guys. I mean, say something in the chat if you like that. Put a fire emoji if you like seeing Mahomes getting sacked, right? That's what we like to see. That's what we like to see. All right. Let's see what else we have here for you guys. You know what? I do need to get going. I do have some things to do. I would like to just ditch work and stuff like that. I think that'd be awesome. We got some fire emojis here because we like seeing Mahomes get sacked, right? And you know what? We don't give Gunther credit for that game. I mean, I want to hate on Gunther like everybody, but we don't give him credit when he made those second half adjustments and shut down the Chiefs like they had not been shut out all year. We hadn't seen anything like that. That was crazy. So, oh, resemblance. Somebody is correcting my English there. That's super rude. Okay. Yeah, Gunther's a governor. Governor Gunther. Hey, he was Governor Gunther in that game when he shut down the Chiefs. My voice is getting Hurst. If you guys want to play some ads in these, let me know. Oh yeah, hit the bell. Hit the bell. Honestly, I don't really know how that works. I subscribe to a few channels, and I didn't know about the bell thing. I thought you just hit subscribe and you get notifications. But if there's a bell, please hit it and get some notifications from me. I don't have any ads, but this is what I would do. I could put your product here if you'd like to put a product here. Product placement. These are some probiotics I've been taking from Target. It's supposed to make my gut slim down. You know, I'm a beer drinker, so I need to get the gut slim down. So it might help out. I'll let you guys know if you follow the channel, if it really helps out. I'm not even plugging this. This is just something I just found on my counter. All right. Closing comments from people. Say what you got to say in the chat. I'm heading off. This has been an hour and 17 minutes. Do you watch Raider Films? Yes, he's a great YouTuber. Here's the thing about Raider Films. Is that his real voice? It's like a slow down, because I'm a video editor. I've been video editing since I was like 13 years old. I don't think that's his real voice. I mean, you know, it sounds really tough. You know, I wish I had that voice. I'd probably get a few more ladies too in my life, you know, if I had that one. But I don't think that's his real voice. That's the one criticism I have of Raider Films. Okay, I don't want to be a hater though. It's great. I love his I love the quality. Yeah, our starting linebackers aren't good against the run. Tahir Whitehead was actually good against the run when we had him. He wasn't good at anything else, but he was really good against the run. Raider Nation for life, Jack Kenna, yes. That's his real view? Yes, send me an interview of Raider Films. I want to know if that's his real voice. If so, props to that guy. I hope he's getting lots of love. I'm sure the ladies, and even some fellas, if you know what I'm saying, like that kind of stuff. All right, Raider J Football, awesome. And yeah, hit me up. I'm always down to join in too if you guys want to talk football, any kind of streams or anything like that. It sounds fun. McMillan's no longer on the team. Unfortunate. Kind of wasted that Bowden pick. Really unfortunate. All in all, I do have Instagram. I'm not going to release that yet because I have like kind of a personal Instagram. And basically a little bit about me. I used to actually do stand-up comedy for several years. And I was actually really popular in San Francisco for a while. And I know the bad side of mixing this stuff with your personal social media accounts. So I'm not going to do that right away. But please follow this channel. Yes, send me a friend request. I might not accept on Instagram yet. I will make a Raiders themed one soon. But subscribe to this channel. Like these videos. Check out my other content. My other content, I'm trying to make it where it has a lot of shelf life. Where like it's a video you could watch. Even if it's been like a month since it came out. You could watch and it's still really relevant to our situation. That's why I do the contract breakdowns. That's why I do the videos the way I do them, trying to have more shelf life. So check them out. Check out my archive. I'm just getting started. I've been getting better. My production quality is increasing. We're greasing the wheels. We're grinding. And yeah, it's been fun. I love this stuff. Yeah, I like when the Raider Films guy goes, whoa, yeah. I tried to do that in my thing, and I had to re-record because I tried to be like, woo, whoa. It sounded a little weird. But he's great, yeah. Check out other Raiders YouTubers. They're all putting fantastic stuff out there. I'm glad you guys checked me out. I'm going to keep grinding. Yeah, look up all these people. Jack Kenna, he's plugging them. Honcho, Graphics, Samoa, Cody. They don't do shout-outs for me, but I'm going to do shout-outs for them because they came before me. I'm just coming around now. But I'm going to create some more content for you guys. Thank you guys for joining me for this live. I look forward to doing some more. My name is Wi-Fi Willie. Don't forget it and have a good night.